Hi guys, a really short one for you just to let you see where we're up to with the tailgate on the wagon. So the paint's been on there about 4 days now, and we've been popping it out in the sun every day to let it try and get some heat into it to fully cure the clear. So now I've just given it a quick rub with excuse me, with some 400, 600, 800, 1200, 1500, all the way down to 2500 grit wet and dry. Now, normally wouldn't start with 400 on clear coat, but there was a lot of orange peel on there. It went on quite thick. So I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you what we've got. Right, so the top section here, we haven't done yet. That's still straight off the gun. And it's flattened out okay through the week as it's been curing, but you can still see it's got a bit of a haze through it. There is a lot of orange peel on there. So, and there's a couple little dags and runs in there that, excuse me, that I need to actually scrape with a bit of a razor blade. Where are we? There's one here. So I'll scrape them down with a razor to get them flat and go from there before we wet and dry them. But now this, from this body line here down, has all been done. There's no real transition between the colours. And I think that's going to be pretty much ready for a cut and buff on the weekend or Friday arvo when I get some time. So that's just been dried off with water and a towel. So I'll grab some prep wash and put it on there, and that should give us some kind of an idea of what it's going to look like when we get it polished up. I'll grab a rag, 2 secs. Okay, so if we get a bit of prep wash, so it's really brought the metallic up in the black and the gold. And that should come up with a fairly nice gloss once we give it a buff. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll get you more footage over the weekend when we get in and give this a good buff. Thanks, bye. Hi folks, so we're back on the XW tailgate. We finally got it rubbed back with 2500 all over and given it a good clean down. Now we're going to get in and give it a buff, try to give it a buff. Now, I haven't used a lamb's wool buff pad in years. No, I have been using the hard foam ones and then the soft foam ones to finish. They're a lot more forgiving if you're not real good at it, and they tend to not burn the edges of the paint off as easy. But the lamb's wool does give a nicer cut. So we're going to give it a shot with the lamb's wool on the first couple of cuts, and then get into the swirl remover with the grey foam. So the main thing to remember, not too much product, and always keep the buff pad spinning off the panel, never cut onto an edge, and go real gentle around any edges. And I've got way too much on there, so spread it around a bit. And we don't want to spin it too fast. Most of the late model cutters, polishers, tend to work pretty good at a lower speed. And we don't want to put too much pressure Just let it do its own work. And keep moving so we don't overheat it. Okay, so that's just a quick go over with the first course cut, and that hasn't come up too bad. Once I get used to the pad a little bit and a bit more confidence with the lamb's wool, we'll get back onto the edges a little bit more, work them a bit more and get the shadows out of there. So yeah, basically it's just keep going more on from there. Now, the better you wet rub them, the better or easier it is going to be to polish it. So hopefully, once we get this in the daylight, I won't have any coarse scratches in there anywhere from where I rubbed it back. There is some blemishes in the paint and stuff like that. It's in a shed, it's not a booth, so yeah. All right, we'll get into it and get you in a little bit closer once we've done a few more cuts. Okay, so we haven't spent too long on that yet. So we'll just get you down there and have a look. So that's what it's like where we've given it a colour rub with wet and dry up to 2,500 grit with soapy water and a couple of passes with the buff with the lambswool pad on it and some coarse grit cut. It's not coming up too bad. Touch wood so far. Haven't burnt through any edges. So, and we did manage to get enough product on there that we've actually buried the transition from the brown to the black. And you can't feel, so it looks and feels like it's all one piece. All right, so I'll get back into it, keep buffing, and then get into the swirl remover. Alrighty, let's give it a wipe down. See how many spots I've missed. Paint's still cool. So I don't think that's coming up too bad. Rightio, I'll have a close look at it and then we'll have a look and see if we maybe go into the finer polish with the finer pad. Okay, so the first cut we've done was with a lamb's wool bonnet and what was it? It was Collad cutting content, and it's come up quite nice. So now we're going to run over it with a brand called Juice Swirl Remover. It's worked really well on the pearl paint on Frank's Fairlane, so we'll give it a shot on this. And we're going to use that on a grey foam pad on a random orbit DA. I don't know. The DAs apparently give less swirls and scratches than a conventional polisher. I'm not sure. So give this a go. And again, we're not trying to turn it too fast, we're not trying to generate too much heat. Now, both these polishers, one was an Azito and this one's just a Tool Pro, so one's from Bunnings and one's from Super Cheap. They do the job, but they do vibrate a hell of a lot. So this isn't too bad, it's only a single panel. When you're trying to buff a whole car, they're, yeah, what can I say? If you can find a better one or afford a better one, I would. These are okay, but yeah, they're just not balanced well. Now, get this to start out. I did wet the pad down first. I don't like using the foam ones dry, so we've just dampened that down with a little bit of water, and it just lets the polish go on a lot nicer. Again, we don't want to force it or push on the machine too hard. Let it do its thing. Although, like I said before, the foam pads are a lot more forgiving, especially if you haven't buffed before. glory. We'll get on the bottom face now. scan and get you down and have a look. Okay, so we're done for now. The tailgate's had a quick cut and a quick polish. So I probably will leave it sit for, again, the rest of the week while we're at work, and maybe later on in the week give it another go with the fine polish and the swirl remover, just to let the panel breathe a little bit more. So yeah, now this was all done with leftovers and really budget stuff that we got from one of the local paint suppliers, Colourfast in Browns Plains. Great group of people, and if you don't know a lot, they've got a heap of knowledge and they're really helpful and don't mind letting you know what you're doing wrong or how to do it and do it properly so it actually works for you. So their brand of paint, and yeah, really basic guns, basic hand tools. And if you remember what this tailgate looked like when we first dragged the car out of the carport from sitting for a few years, okay, it's not perfect, but it looks pretty damn good. So tomorrow we're going to get back into Dylan's XK, into the boot lid and the bonnet. So hopefully the weather holds up a little bit better than what it is today. It's raining outside, so we've got to try and get his in primer. So hopefully the weather's better for tomorrow, but we'll see how we go with that. So I'm just going to flick you around now so you can have a look at what the tailgate came out like. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.